The Great Wall of China, a story of strength and time. A long time ago, more than 2,000 years ago, China was not one country. It was many small kingdoms. These kingdoms often fought with each other. They wanted more land and more power. In 221 BCE, a man named Qin Shi Huang became the first emperor of a united China. He was very powerful. But he was also afraid. He was afraid of enemies who lived outside China, like the nomads from the north. These people could ride horses very well and attack quickly. To protect his people, Qin Shi Huang had a big idea. He wanted to build a huge wall across the north of China. This wall would stop the enemies. Some walls already existed, built by smaller kingdoms before. Qin Shi Huang ordered his workers to connect these old walls and make them stronger. Building the wall was very hard. Millions of workers built it, soldiers, farmers, and prisoners. Many workers died because the work was dangerous. The wall went over mountains, through deserts, and across rivers. Workers carried heavy stones and bricks. They used simple tools like wood and rope. The first version of the Great Wall was not very strong. It was made of earth, wood, and stone. Still, it was huge. It stretched more than 5,000 kilometers, about 3,100 miles. People said it was like a dragon lying across the land. An interesting story says that a woman named Meng Jiangnu walked a very long way to bring winter clothes to her husband, who was building the wall. But when she arrived, she learned that he had died. She cried so much that part of the wall collapsed. Today, there is a temple for her near the wall. The wall helped protect China, but it was not perfect. Sometimes enemies still found ways to get across. Still, the wall showed the emperor's power and strength. After Qin Shi Huang died, other emperors continued to build and rebuild the wall. Over the centuries, the wall changed. It became stronger and bigger. Did you know? Qin Shi Huang also built the famous terracotta army. It is thousands of life-size statues of soldiers to protect him in the afterlife. The Great Wall is not just one wall. It is many walls and forts connected together. Many years passed after the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. China had many dynasties, families that ruled for hundreds of years. The most famous time for the Great Wall came during the Ming Dynasty, 1368 to 1644. During the Ming Dynasty, China was strong. But the rulers still worried about enemies from the north. They knew the old walls were not good enough anymore. So, the Ming emperors decided to rebuild the wall and make it better and stronger. This time, the wall was made with bricks and stones. It was very strong and could last a long time. Soldiers worked on the wall. So did farmers, prisoners, and even regular people. Building the wall was very hard. Some parts of the wall are on high mountains where it is very cold and windy. The Ming Wall was not just a long wall. It had many smart features. It had watchtowers every few hundred meters. Soldiers stayed inside the towers. They could see enemies coming from far away. When they saw danger, they lit fires on the towers during the night or sent smoke signals during the day. Other towers saw the smoke or fire and quickly passed the message along. In this way, people could warn the capital, Beijing, very fast. Along the wall, there were also small forts where soldiers could live. Some parts had deep moats and strong gates. The wall became like a giant defense system. Interesting facts about the Ming Great Wall. The Ming Wall is about 8,850 kilometers long, 5,500 miles. Some bricks used in the wall have names carved on them, the names of the workers who made them. Some parts of the wall are 7 meters high, 23 feet, and 5 meters wide, 16 feet. It took more than 100 years to finish the Ming Wall. Even with this great wall, sometimes enemies got through. In 1644, a general opened one of the gates to the Manchus, who attacked and ended the Ming dynasty. After that, China was ruled by the Qing dynasty, and building new parts of the wall mostly stopped. Still, the Great Wall stayed an important symbol of Chinese strength, pride, and history. A story from the wall. Soldiers lived on the wall for many years. They had a hard life. The winters were freezing, and the summers were very hot. Some stories say that soldiers used to sing songs to keep their spirits high during cold nights. They would also carve poems into the bricks. Some of these ancient poems can still be seen today on the stones of the wall. Today, many people know about the Great Wall of China, but not all stories about the wall are true. Many people believe you can see the Great Wall from space. This is not true. Astronauts say that from space, the Great Wall is very hard to see. It is too narrow, and it looks the same color as the ground around it. From low Earth orbit, if the weather is perfect and if you know exactly where to look, you might spot parts of it. But it is not easy. Other human-made things like cities or airports are actually much easier to see. Another common idea is that the wall is one long straight line across China. This is also not true. The wall moves like a snake across the land. It climbs up steep mountains, goes down valleys, crosses rivers, and winds across deserts. There are many parts of the wall, and some are far away from each other. The Great Wall also hides many secrets. In some places, the builders used sticky rice mixed with lime to hold the bricks together. Scientists today say that this rice mortar was very strong, and it helped the wall survive for so long. There are also secret rooms built inside the wall. These rooms were used to store food, weapons, and even water for the soldiers. In some areas, tunnels were made inside the wall so that soldiers could move safely without enemies seeing them. Here are some surprising facts about the Great Wall. At its highest point, the wall is over 1,400 meters above sea level. More than 20,000 towers were built along the wall. The wall crosses 15 provinces in China. The Great Wall is strong, but nature and people have hurt it over time. Rain and wind have broken many parts. Plants grow inside the stones and push them apart. In the past, people who lived near the wall sometimes took stones and bricks to build their own houses, roads, or farms. They did not want to hurt history, but many parts of the wall disappeared because of this. Today, the Chinese government protects the wall. Workers fix broken parts so visitors can see this great wonder and learn about the history. There is also a beautiful story about friendship on the wall. It is said that two soldiers worked at towers far apart. Every night they sent each other light signals with their lanterns. They became good friends even though they never met. One night, one of the lanterns stayed dark. The other soldier knew something was wrong. He ran for hours through the cold night to reach his friend and saved his life. This story shows that the Great Wall was not only about fighting. It was also about friendship, courage, and helping each other. Today, the Great Wall of China is one of the most famous places in the world. Millions of people from every country come to visit it every year. They want to walk on the stones where ancient soldiers once marched. They want to touch the history with their own hands. The most popular part of the wall is called Badaling. It is near Beijing, the capital city of China. Badaling is very well preserved. The wall there is wide and strong, and it is easy for visitors to walk on it. Many important people have visited Badaling. In 1972, President Richard Nixon from the United States came to see it. He said it was a wonderful sight. Since then, many world leaders have followed. Walking on the Great Wall is not easy. In some places, the stairs are very steep and uneven. Some steps are very high, and others are very low. Visitors must climb carefully. But when they reach the top of a tower and see the wall stretching over the hills and disappearing into the distance, they feel a great sense of wonder. Many parts of the wall are quiet and wild. In these places, there are fewer tourists. The wall looks broken and lonely. Grass and trees grow inside the stones. Birds sing, and the wind whispers through the ruins. These quiet parts show the true age of the wall and its long story through time. The wall has also become a symbol of strength for the Chinese people. It shows that with hard work and courage, anything is possible. It reminds people that their ancestors faced great dangers and worked together to build something that would last forever. In modern times, the Great Wall has appeared in many books, movies, and songs. Artists paint it. Poets write about it. It is not only a historical place. It is also a symbol of imagination and dreams. Here are some interesting things about visiting the Great Wall today. There is a special marathon race where people run along the wall. In some parts, you can ride a cable car to the top if the climb is too hard. At night, some sections are lit up with beautiful lights for visitors. In winter, the wall looks magical under a blanket of snow. In autumn, the hills around the wall turn red and gold with the leaves. Some parts of the wall have special festivals. People dress in old Chinese soldier uniforms. They march along the wall and play music. It feels like going back in time. But not everything is easy. Protecting the wall is a big job. Every year, the rain, wind, and sandstorms damage more stones. Workers must climb high on the mountains to fix the broken parts. They use old techniques to repair the wall without changing its spirit. It is hard work, but it is very important. There is also a law in China now. It says that people must not damage the wall. If they do, they can be fined a lot of money. Many volunteers also help to clean the wall. They pick up trash and remove weeds. They love the wall and want to keep it strong for future generations. The wall continues to inspire many people. Some visitors write their dreams on small red ribbons and tie them to trees near the wall. They believe the spirit of the Great Wall will help their wishes come true. Others simply walk and think about life, about time, and about the strength of human hope. The Great Wall is more than just stones and bricks. It is a bridge between the past and the future. It is a voice that speaks across 2,000 years. It tells everyone who comes to visit that courage, hard work, and dreams can build something that lasts forever. Many stories and legends were born along the Great Wall. Some of these stories are about bravery. Some are about love. Some are about sadness. All of them help us understand why the wall is so important to Chinese people even today. These old stories make the wall feel alive, not just a line of stones across the land. One of the most famous stories is about a woman named Meng Jiangnu. A long time ago, during the Qin dynasty, her husband was taken away by government officials. He was forced to work on the building of the Great Wall. Meng Jiangnu loved her husband very much. She waited and waited for him to come back. But the seasons changed, and still, he did not return. At last, she decided to find him herself. She traveled a very long way on foot. She crossed rivers, climbed mountains, and slept under the stars. She suffered from cold, hunger, and rain, but she did not give up. When she finally arrived at the wall, she learned terrible news. Her husband had died from the hard work and the terrible conditions, and he had been buried inside the wall. Heartbroken, Meng Jiangnu cried and cried. She cried so loudly and for so long that the heavens heard her. A great part of the wall collapsed, and her husband's bones were found. The emperor heard about this miracle. He admired her strong heart and offered to marry her, but she refused. She said she would never marry the man who caused her husband's death. Today, there is a temple built for her near the wall. It reminds visitors of the power of love and of standing up for what is right, even when you are alone. There are also many stories about heroes who protected the wall. One of them is General Qi Jiguang. During the Ming Dynasty, when China faced many attacks from northern tribes, Qi Jiguang worked very hard to make the wall stronger. He noticed that some parts were too weak and could easily fall during an attack. He taught the workers to use strong bricks and stones. He made the towers higher and closer together so that soldiers could defend the wall better. General Qi Jiguang also trained new armies. He taught his soldiers new ways to fight. They practiced every day. Thanks to his leadership, many enemies failed to break through the wall. General Qi is remembered not only as a great fighter but also as a wise and caring leader who protected his people. Another beautiful legend says that dragons helped guide the building of the wall. The land in northern China is very rough. There are high mountains, deep valleys, and wide rivers. Builders did not always know the best way to build the wall across such difficult places. According to the legend, heavenly dragons flew across the land, showing the workers where to build. That is why the wall twists and turns like a great dragon lying on the mountains. When you stand on the wall today and see it winding over the hills, it feels like the dragon is still alive, resting peacefully across the land. Through China's long history, the wall changed many times. During the Han Dynasty, parts of the wall were expanded to protect new areas as China grew bigger. In the Tang Dynasty, China became very rich and powerful. Trade along the Silk Road was strong, and the wall was not used much for defense. Some parts were forgotten, and nature began to cover them with grass and trees. But during the Ming Dynasty, after many attacks from the north, the emperors decided to rebuild and improve the wall again. Each emperor had different feelings about the wall. Some believed it was a great shield to keep enemies away. Some thought it showed the power of the emperor and the greatness of China. Others thought it cost too much money and too many lives. But for the ordinary people who lived near the wall, it was part of everyday life. They used the wall to watch for danger. They used the stones to build shelters. They grew crops in the safe valleys behind the wall's protection. There are also small, quiet stories that lived along the wall. Families would say goodbye to fathers and brothers who went to guard the wall and might not return for many years. Children grew up hearing the sounds of the wall, the wind in the stones, the footsteps of soldiers, the call of lookouts from the towers. Life was hard, but the wall gave them a sense of safety and pride. Today, when people visit the wall, they see more than just stones and old bricks. They feel the spirit of thousands of years. They think of the workers who carried heavy stones up the mountains. They remember the soldiers who watched the cold northern plains for signs of danger. They hear the ancient stories whispered by the wind along the stones. The Great Wall is not only a wonder of engineering. It is also a living memory of human hope, sacrifice, strength, and dreams. It reminds everyone that even the hardest work, if done with courage and love, can create something that lasts forever. Thank you for listening to this story. If you liked it, write about it in the comments and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new stories.